Okay. I know I'm late on new card reveals, but I have not had time to record, sadly. Um, so three, technically four tabs need to look at, and some of these are pretty interesting. So Armor Rouge GX, Glyspot Armor Rouge EX, Glyspot EX, illustration rares, and more from basically Paradox Rift, Ancient or Future Flash in Japan. This will be in November. It'll be legal for LAIC, which will be very important because that is the first IC of the 2023, 2023, 2024 season. Uh, Ignore that. Um, yeah, let's just hop right into it. Toad School, I guess. This could be Sticky Spore could be good in a pinch, but you need it in hand and on an attack, which is not really good. Plus 50 HP if you're playing 70 HP Pokemon. Sableye just eats you up. Um, so yeah, just play 60 HP one instead. If you're going to play this, Toad Scroll, the Evolution, Mycelium Colony. Cards in your discard, opponent's discard, can't be put into their hand through effects of trainer cards and abilities. People are saying, oh, this is the downfall of, cards like Chanpao EX because they rely on superior energy retrieval. I say that is not true because keep in mind, this text is important. It is a stage one. You need to put two cards in your hand. You need to put two cards in your deck to potentially counter a niche threat. Remember, they also have Greninja, they have Canceling Loan, they have Manaphy. So, yeah, it's not as easy as you think. They can easily get around this. It's not end all be all. I don't know why people are hyping it up as if it's a end all Chenpao, but there's also Clara that you can get around, which is good for Lost Box. But again, two card combo, pretty niche. Not going to see play. Magby, 30 HP. That just tells you kind of dead on arrival because you need to wait for Sableye to rotate, which will be another year and a half at this point. Stop unresponsive pages. Uh, but let's still take a look. Gradual Heater, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Basically, Bursting Balloon, if you remember that card from the X and Y era. Same effect, just not on a dual card. You could combine this with, what is it? Vengeful Punch, make it 10 damage counters, because this is getting knocked out. 30 HP, you're not surviving anything. You could breathe on it, it's gonna die. Uh, Charcadet, 60 HP. This is like, what, 4 or 5 at this point? Um, yeah, there's a lot of options. 60 HP, there's 80 HP instead of 70, which I guess means you could play the 50 HP Pokemon if you're playing a Charcadet, but there's deck for basic fire to attach this Pokemon. Maybe, I guess. Protect. We have a lot of shred effects. It's not going to do much. The only downside of this is to retreat. We know how bad that is. Armor Rouge. Most Pokemon's at full HP, 80 less damage from attacks. So 340. Uh, yeah, 340 at full HP. Combined with Rigid Band, that's 370. I think that's more than Blastoise EX. Actually, no, Blastoise has Lake Acuity. That brings it, I think, higher. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. But yeah, still pretty high for a stage one. Scorching Bazooka. We all remember this as blanking on the name. Sizzlipede's evolution. I am sorry. Centiskorch. That's what it is. Centiskorch VMAX. The only downside is it does not attach like that did. Um, so I'm not sure how relevant that's going to be. 2 prizes compared to 3. Stage 1, same thing as Centiskorch, but I the fact that it doesn't attach and also for 2 colorless makes it bad, honestly. You've got the Baby Armor Rouge, which I guess is decent. You've got Cheryl, so you can heal off, but what's your acceleration? Magma Basin? Sure. You've got Magma Basin, you got Raihan, you got Candela, you got Giovanni. There's some acceleration, but it's not as good, honestly. It's not Welder. Wimpod, Secret Snack, flip a coin of heads. Could be good if you're trying to stall out for a turn. Maybe. 7 HP to retreat, though. That's kind of bad. Golisopod, Strategic Retreat, because you're not using Aqua Blade. Don't lie. 170, discard an energy from this Pokemon's, and switch. It's not first impression, but it is there. Yeah, there could be something. You can retreat into what's coming up next, which is fine. Veluza, Excalibur finally has Hydro Pump. I wish this was more damage though. I wish this was 60 plus 30 at least, but I'll take 60 plus 20. Because you get this neat ability. If this Pokemon's in the active and is knocked out, you keep two of those energies. The issue with Chenpao right now, in my opinion, is that um, you lose the energy when you take a knockout. Like when you're swinging into a Pokemon, you need to discard those energies to take the KO. This is why Baxcalibur decks need a Hydro Pump attacker because it keeps the energy on the field. It makes it so they need to deal what's in front of them instead of targeting your Baxcalibur and leaving you with nothing. The only issue is the ability is a good point and a bad point. Good because you are keeping the energy when you have you are keeping the energy when you get knocked out. Downside is it doesn't give you an answer to full picks if that ever becomes meta. Right now it's still on the fringes, but it's still something to look out for. Uh, yeah, the ability is a plus and a minus, but it is what it is. Like I said, Hydro Pump, I would have liked this to be 30 just to get more damage, so it's at least on par with Chenpao, but 60 plus 20 is still a decent amount because at base you're doing 120, which is really good for what you're trying to knock out. The only issue is you have 120 HP yourself, so you are getting knocked out by, unfortunately, Iron Hands, which does turn this into a two-prizer, but I still think having a one-prize option in the deck is good for Baxcalibur because it gives you that versatility. You don't need to put your Baxcalibur in danger. You don't need to keep sniping with Greninja. You have that option that just says, hey, I am going to do a straight attack, knock this out, not my support, or else you are going to kind of regret it. And I like that. Swablu Ataria, 50 HP? No. Try and find a 60 HP one if possible. But I don't think Swablu ever has 60 HP. It is like typically one of those frailer Pokemon, but whatever. Altaria EX, another option for Regidrago, and I think this might play it. Humming Heal, if you're playing this in Drago, you're not using that, but 20 from each of your Pokemon. This is Radiant Serena's ability. It's okay. It's on a stage 1, unfortunately, instead of a basic, but keep in mind, this says one string return. It stacks. So if you get multiple Artaria out in a deck, you can keep healing 20, 40, 60, 80, even 100 if you play Serena as your Radiant, and you could make this into a stall deck, basically. I don't think it will because 140, you're two-shotting, maybe 3 at best. You do prevent all effects from your opponent's Pokemon, so you prevent stuff like Star Requiem, Lost Mine, you prevent Frenzied Gouging from Roaring Moon EX. There's a decent amount of effects that you prevent. Unfortunately, you don't prevent Iron Hands taking extra prize if that does happen, but you'd be two-shotting, it would get two-shot, so you would effectively heal off all of that damage before they take that knockout, so we'll see. Tandemos, 30 HP, 40 HP, laughably weak. I don't think these are ever going to go above 50, which means these will need to wait until Sableye rotates, because this is just free prizes. Mousehold EX is decent. Solidarity, which I believe is what it is. We have the official translation in this tab. If the Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, 3 damage counters for each of your Tandemos and Mousehold, including EXs in play. So if you can somehow manage, this is being played with Zorg from Evolving Skies, no doubt, because you want to get a full bench. You can't do that if you only have 4 Tandemos. It's just not possible. You can only play 4 copies. We're playing this with Zorg, obviously. If you can somehow get a full bench of Mousehold with no support Pokemon, no Bibarel, no Lumineon, none of that, you are doing 180 damage in recoil for your opponent, which is interesting. If you put on a Vengeful Punch and you get one shot, which is probably going to be typical, you have 230 HP, you're fighting weak, a lot of stuff is one-hitting you right now. If you can somehow manage to get a Vengeful Punch on this as well, and a full board, you are dealing 220 damage in recoil, which is knocking out basic EXs and basic Vs. Unless they have 230, which is not a lot. Yeah, dealing 220 damage in recoil is very impressive, but it's asking a lot, so it's somewhat of an even trade, I guess. And it's probably going to be an even trade because this attack is mid. 120 damage, it's going to be 100 because you're going to use DTE on this if you're even attacking with it in the first place, which you're going to have to if you have a full board. Regardless, uh, this attack is translated as nom 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 incisors, which is one of the most hilarious names I've ever seen. And it's draw two. Simple as that. Funny name, draw two. Eh. Little 40, 50, play the 50 HP. Obviously, quick attack, 10 damage, flip a coin if heads 30. Sure. 10 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active, which is probably better because a lot of decks stack energy. Right now, at least, like Gardevoir, Chenpao, if they try and hold off on the next attack, but you're not getting that much, honestly. You're just using it to evolve into Espathra. All-Seeing. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, prevent all effects of damage and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So basically, a one-turn shield. Pretty good. The issue is we don't have a way to consistently return this. Yes, we have Turo Scenario that's coming out. That is your supported for turn. Don't really want to use that because of this attack. But if you can, that would be nice. The reason I say that, Glitter Eyes, 70 damage. If you have Tulip in your discard pile, 140. Tulip is over here. Just quickly scroll through. Here it is. Put up to 4 enemy combination of Psychic and Basic Psychic energy from your discard into your hand. So it's Nessa for Psychic Pokemon, which I guess is somewhat decent, but I would just 140. Maybe in GLC, but even then, one of Pokemon, one of Tulip versus Seeker, Cynthia Caitlin, you are taking time to get that attack going constantly, just for 140. I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to give this the benefit of the doubt. It's not there. It's really not. I mean, Scoop Up Net and Super Scoop Up in GLC as well, but again, you're relying on a tanking strategy. There's no way to evolve it in a single turn unless you play Wally, I guess, but I think that's from deck if I recall correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. This, you, the biggest gain from this set in terms of trainers, in my opinion. At least from this reveal. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the biggest gain from the set. Counter Catcher has returned finally. This card. I know a lot of people have asking for either Counter Catcher or Powhand Extension because they're effectively the same effect. Play this card only if you have more prize cards made than your opponent. You're behind in the game. Boss. Simple as that. Just boss's orders on an item card. It's really good. Like, yeah, stall decks use this, but if you're playing a deck that has Irida, Arven, anything that can tutor out item cards that is a slower deck, you will want to play this. Decks like Gardevoir will play this because they naturally go behind in the game. There's so many like decks that just want this because they want to use their supporter for something else that's not gusting. There's a reason why decks like Chenpao play Cross Switcher instead of Boss's Orders because they want to use their supporter for something else. They will play Counter Catcher to have that instant boss. Like decks that want to have the gusting, that go behind in the game, that can't afford to use boss, they will play one, maybe two of in their decks just because this effect is so strong. It's ridiculous how impactful this card is going to be. It's going to change a lot. It's, like I said, it's one of the best card reveals that we've gotten in this set. It's amazing. Snorlax doll. This had me in a... okay. This gave me a mini panic when I saw this effect. If this card... When I saw the whole... if this card is knocked out, your opponent can't take any prizes for it. I thought, oh no, this is going to be Lily's Pokédoll all over again. For those who remember Lily's Pokédoll, it caused Stall to be tier 0. It was not a fun time to be playing the TCG. Sun and Moon was a good block, but the ending of it just kind of went downhill, and Lily's Pokédoll was one of the reasons, at least, for that downfall. However, this card is not as good, thankfully, because you need to have it when you're setting up to play. If you thought Battle VIP Pass was a dead card, if you do not open this, you do have 4 dead cards in your hand, or in your deck, sorry. If you open Battle Pass, you at least have the chance to draw into them throughout your turn. If you do not open this card, they're dead right away, which is so much more balanced, honestly, because yes, you have 120 HP, but you do need to play four of them, and if you don't open them, you're not getting that bonus. They're just fodder for other cards. Which, oh my god, thank you so much for making this card balanced. This is probably one of the ways to balance out this effect because if you can constantly loop this like you could with Lily's Pokédoll, it can just turn degenerate really quickly. This might be a bit too much of a nerf, but it is at least something that will keep it relatively balanced, which I am all for. And I think that's all for this. We have a few more cards revealed. Tinkaton, Tatsugiri. Tinkatink, you're just going to play other ones. These are, yeah, Mountain Rummage could be decent. It's trekking shoes. Look at the top, you put in your hand if you don't discard and draw another. I guess if you're desperate for draw, you can just play this. 70 HP, but to retreat, not stage 2. I don't know what I'm saying. Tinkaton could be decent. Alloy Hammer, 60 damage if you have metal. This attack does 180. If I recall correctly from rulings, if you have a luminous energy attached, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you have a luminous energy attached, it counts as both at the same time, simply because of the wording stating that it counts as every energy, but only one at a time. So if you have I am not 100% certain on this, but if you have a luminous energy, this provides both of the costs. So one luminous energy, 180. That's pretty good. Tatsugiri, basic survival strategy. This is also our first dragon type Tatsugiri, which is pretty neat. Uh, you can just play it in any water deck because its only attack is for a water energy. Survival strategy, search deck for 2 cards. We've seen how good this is with Arceus. The only downside to this is it's an attack, not an ability. I guess there is the upside of being able to switch it. Maybe, but then again, you have 70 HP. You're not evolving because Tatsugiri does not evolve. Um, Tatsugiri doesn't evolve, so you're staying at 70 HP. You've got Bravery Charm, I guess, but you could just go tool removal. Lost Zone plays a ton of Lost Vacuum, so I decent in Regidrago, I guess, because it is a dragon type. You can copy it, search your deck for 2 cards, and yeah, I could only see this in Regidrago, honestly, just because of that reason alone. Um, and one more, we have Crobat, which was revealed yesterday. Well, last night, basically. Crobat's evolution line. This is Paradox Rift. Zubat, you're going to play the one from, I believe, 151 that searches your opponent's hand if it's active. That's honestly just the best one. Golbat, play the one from Battle Styles until it rotates because that draws you a card on evolution if you're not using Candy. Mad Echo. We have had this effect before on a Vileplume, I believe. It did not see play then. I'm not sure if it's going to see play now. 50 damage. You choose either item or supporter lock. Typically, you're going to choose item lock because most decks are heavily item reliant. That's why item lock has been so good. You see decks that revolve around so many items. Lost Zone plays like 4, maybe 5 supporters. Same with like Chen-Pao. I'm a very, very heavy Chen-Pao player, if you couldn't tell, based on how much I'm mentioning it. But most decks don't play more than like 6, 7 supporters, which is why typically you're going to choose item lock. Because you just shut down most of their strategy. They can't set up. The only issue is this. Being a stage 2 is going to be tough. Because you have to use Candy yourself. And if you can't stream this, it's not the best. You're going to be doing 30 damage because you're going to be using DTE on this. So there is that. If there's a way to poison, you could make makeshift Toad, Seismitoad again, because you can just go Hisuian Sneasler, poison, you're dealing 60 damage a turn, I guess. Maybe even 70 if you attach a Vitality Band. But that's being generous, and it's also 130 stage 2. It's not the best one. Greninja is a basic that has 130 as well. I can't really defend this that much. I guess it could be decent in maybe GLC because of the item lock or supporter lock. That The issue is you have to find the timing for whichever one is better. So I I don't know. This could be decent, but there's it is holding on for dear life if it's decent. Anyways, Iron Hand, Skeldurge, Iron Juggler, Slitherwing. Basically, we've gotten a lot of official English translations, and some of these are very, very interesting. So I'd say let's start from the bottom and go up. Evil we have the art rare, Crosscut, Evolution, 60 more damage. This art looks nice, I will say that. Crosscut, Dark Edge, typical attacks for an Evoltol. Iron Jugulus. Baryon Beam is probably the one that you're using the most. It's nice to see these official names, which is it's nice to see what the official names are because it's what we're going to be announcing during tournaments. So we will see how much of idiots we're going to look like when we're announcing these attacks. As I was saying, Mousehole DX, we have Nom 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 Incisors. It's just typical draw two. Solidarity was translated properly, thankfully. So, yeah, funny name, bad effect. Slitherwing. Finally have this English translation. I've been waiting for this one because I've been trying this out in Sandy Shock's box. Burning Turbulence. This is the good attack. But it's not a good attack because you're putting yourself down to what? 50 HP, I think? I guess you've got the charm, but eh. Geldurge, Incendiary Song. It's it's an attack, or not an attack. It's an ability. It's really good. Metal type is not the it's not the best, but it's not the worst type to be hitting in the world. Attacking with fire. If you thought fire had bad acceleration, have fun attaching fire energy to a metal Pokemon, because you can't Magma Base into it. So ha. Frostlass, bring me to life. We've all seen the jokes at this point. Just wake me up. Evanescent is a hilarious ability because everyone is coming out of their emo phases. Uh, well, going back into their emo phases, I guess. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent takes one fewer prize cards. Pretty good. Cross bullet, 140 and 20 snipe. Everyone's playing Manaphy. Have fun with that. Here's where everyone is losing their minds. Iron Hands. There is a lot to say about this attack name because before, with Justin Basil's translations, it was translated as Extreme Amplifier. I would have honestly rather had that than Amp You Very Much. It's gonna be hysterical to see both players and stream commentators saying he's taking an extra prize with Amp You Very Much. We are gonna look like idiots. I'm all for this, honestly. It's gonna be very, very funny to see Amp You Very Much take games. Just I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be fun. But yeah, that is I believe that is everything. There's also some cards that were translated into other languages. These are not English. I don't know what other language these are. I can try and see if any of these are French because I do speak French as well, but I don't see any, unfortunately. Um, wait. Oh, no. This one is in French, but I don't. No, I don't. Some of these names are just weird, but yeah, I can't really translate that one, unfortunately. Anyways, we do also have other English cards that were revealed, which so does Vitality. Why? I preferred Metal. I preferred Metal, honestly. Like there's so many. I believe there's so many Vitality cards. Uh, no, it's not Vitality cards. It's Resolve cards. Ends resolves and use resolve. Still, I prefer Professor Sada's Metal. I'm not sure. I just yeah. Chen Pao, decent one prize attacker in said deck. 130 for 3, discard 2. You are effectively getting 10 more damage than the EX, but only with the 2 energy discard. I don't know. Pokemon number 1000. Of course, it would get an EX as its first card. Why wouldn't it? Yeah, Make It Rain. Glad that this is the official translation. They kept it they kept its signature attack, though it was translated as Gold Rush in Japan because that's what the Doug Trio from. It had the same text as Doug Trio from Ultra Prism because it's the same attack effect basically. But yeah, they decided to say, hey, let's keep it as Make It Rain to make it consistent with the video games. Coin bonus is a kind of mid attack name or mid ability name, I guess. It would have been cooler as something else, but yeah, that is everything new, I guess. There's not much else. That's everything new that we've gotten revealed from Paradox Rift so far, and this is looking to be a really good set. I am excited for this. It's one of the, I want to say one of the most impactful sets since probably Scarlet and Violet base. Because Scarlet and Violet base did bring us a lot of new stuff. Um, I feel like I could say that about every set for Scarlet and Violet. Every set has brought something impactful. Base brought us Nest Ball, it brought us Gardevoir, it brought us Beach Court. Uh, Paldea Evolved brought us Iono. What else do I need to say about that? Um, Obsidian Flames, despite the fact that it got negative reviews, it brought us Charizard, which is which was the most popular deck for Peoria Regionals, which surprised a lot of people, honestly. And now Paradox Rift is bringing us a lot of stuff with Iron Hands. It's bringing us so much stuff. It's bringing us Iron Hands. It's bringing us Professor Turo's scenario, which is just a great pickup. I'm excited to see what this meta is going to develop, and I am hoping that it does develop well at LAIC. I am going to be looking forward to that event for sure, and I hope you all are as well. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about all of these new reveals. They're all looking to be really, really impressive, and I hope we see more. I am hoping that this whole future and ancient mechanic lasts similar to Ultra Beast for Sun and Moon because they're a core part of the video game. So I could see them lasting from Paradox Rift all the way to the end of the Scarlet and Violet era, honestly. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed what I was saying about these new cards and seeing the impact that they're going to have on the meta. I am like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with this. But for now, I will let you all go, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.